Hi, nice to see you guys.
Nice to
How
see you
are you?
too.
I'll just jump right in. I'm curious from an executive producing storytelling standpoint. I'm assuming, for a show like Hijack, which is like a sinister psychological Home Alone, if everyone was on a government watch list, um, like instead of looking at a chessboard and going, how do we get to checkmate? Are you looking at a completed board and going, okay, here's the desired result and working, how did we get here? Is that kind of how you craft the story?
Great question.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Do we know the ending before we even start? I think I think that it has to be a certain bit of give and take in that process because if you set out and say, okay, we want to end up here, and then how do we figure out how to get there? You're actually it's very self-limiting, and
Hmm.
actually, I'm much more interested in saying, what's the diving board that we're jumping off? What's the temperature of the water that we're jumping into?
Mm.
And let's see whether Sam can keep his chin above the water once he gets there,
Mm.
and then in the process of making it, things work, other things don't work. And I think if you don't leave yourself open to that, if you're sort of got your
Sure,
blinker
yeah.
and you're heading to the end, then you're
Mm.
you're
Mm.
throwing away possibilities. So, to answer your question, essentially, yes, we've got a sort of a general idea of where we want to end up, but you're open to the idea that you might change that as you
Mhm.
go.
I think we know that we can't take any figures off the board. That's it. The constraint of passengers, moving vehicle, and that human contract between what we all understand that to be is it. And then
Mhm.
within that, sort of it's fun, I think, and been amazing to try and tell these stories that people can relate to with that in mind. Mm.
Yeah. Well, I love asking actors how roles they've played have influenced other areas of their lives. So this is gonna sound like I'm kidding, but I'm genuinely curious, Idris, have you learned anything about hostage negotiation that you've taken into your DJing career?
I can safely say no.
Mic technique.
Okay.
I can say that, but I can say that, definitely people actually are really interested in the silences. Like you can get away when I'm DJing, I can
Yeah.
play a breakdown which has no beat, simps, big build up, but really silent because that anticipation is like, oh, what's going to come? What's going to come? And you can really play in that. And I think negotiation is a bit like that. Sometimes saying nothing or leaving a really long gap adds anxiety and makes people go, oh, maybe he's going to turn the deal off. So there you go. I tried to answer that crazy question.
That was great. Listen, you could always throw some of your lyrics in, if you do season three, like maybe there's a girl in the back with a bat, something like that. Someone's eating apple crumble, like
I see
little.
where you're going. I see where
I
you're going.
listen. I'm patiently waiting for you to have a show in New York City. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just insinuating.
We considered New York City as a setting for season two, funnily enough, but we wanted Sam to be somewhere where he couldn't really speak the language, and we wanted
Sure,
we
yeah.
wanted him to be in a slightly more alien environment. We could have made the show in New York City. How would New Yorkers react to a train of theirs being hijacked? Probably quite differently.
Different, yeah.
I was gonna say we're already like in that state of mind
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
exactly.
It'd just be chaos.
Yeah.
Well, Sam is a very capable, intelligent, intuitive man. Um, Knowing the character as well as you do you think if given the task of making a rundown, he would have to ask Charles Minor for help, or would he just know what a rundown is?
What is a rundown?
Charles Minor asks Jim to make a rundown in the office. It's a whole episode. Your character asks him to do this task. He can't do it. Um,
I
yeah,
try, yeah, there you go. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. Um, yeah, would Sam Nelson know what that is? Is that what we're saying? Yeah.
no, I'm just wondering, like his level of confidence, how he does under pressure.
Yeah, Sam's a genius at leveling that out. Charles
Yeah.
Minor is a good applier of pressure. And that's a really
Yes.
good concept. The what if series, if all my characters met each other, what would happen?
Who's in charge
Who's on charge? Luther.
of all of them? Yes, sure.
So no,
Yes, that's an
actually,
easy
Turn Up
question.
Charlie. He's
So,
Turn Up Charlie.
no, it's Knuckles, surely.
Oh yeah, of course it's
It's
Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Well, for both of you, I'm curious if you had to kind of give a title to your career so far, like if it was a chapter in a book, what that title might be.
Of this chapter,
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like everything I do in my career is just almost starting again. And I try and look at it that way a little bit. Um, I try to never sit back and do more of the same, or
Hmm.
so I just think starting again. I think every chapter should just be called starting again.
Yeah.
I think mine would be called "The Buttons in the Elevator Don't Work." That's the name of the chapter. Wait, what? What do you mean?
Can you expand on that choice?
Look, you press a button, you expect to get there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, this part of my life, there's so many interesting things that have been happening, and I've been pressing a different button, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm on the wrong floor. Actually, no, I'm on the right floor. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Is there any takeaway from this current season that you hope people get from the show?
Uh, yeah, look, the season one had this, sort of very tantalizing wrapper around it, right? It's like hijack, it's on a plane, it's Apple, and we were a bit intrigued. And then what they got was this sort of very thought-provoking,
Yeah.
anxiety-provoking, examination of the human spirit, quite frankly. Very different from the poster, and which was obviously, that was the architecture of the writing and how we delivered it. So I think this season, to try and do that again, uh,
Hmm.
knowing that the audience will hopefully return and perhaps find a new audience might not have even seen it, is to do that
Yeah.
again, but do it in a way that actually continues to surprise,
Hmm.
continues to evoke, and possibly just, I don't know, inspire a type of storytelling. The idea that you can take something that everyone knows every day and make
Yeah.
that into something really thrilling and with really interesting characters. It's not easy, but it's really great to watch when you do it. So we should do a hijack in a coffee shop or something next.
Let's do it.
Because people go to coffee shops every day.
Yeah, and if you ever need a woman who was already on anxiety medication before she came in the coffee shop, you just let me know. I'll be there. Um, if you both had to give a definition to the phrase making it, like when you hear someone say, "Oh, I've made it," either in life or career, what does that mean to you?
I think it depends who's saying it and in what context they're saying it. Because I think if someone is announcing to the world that they've made it, I think they can get bent, frankly.
Yeah.
I think if you feel like you've made it personally, then I feel good for you. If you feel like you've reached a point where you can say to yourself, "I did it," then
Mm,
that's a cool moment for anybody.
mm.
If I ever find myself saying out loud, "I've made it," I hereby give you both permission to slaughter me indiscriminately in broad daylight. If you say it, I'm going to do the same to you, just so
Yeah,
you know.
hold on. I mean, I think
I'm watching you.
we have to sometimes give ourselves a pat on the back. We just have to, like, there are small things that we can't do, and we challenge ourselves to do, and then suddenly you're doing them. You know,
Mhm.
and, it's like,
Yeah,
in
yay
that
me,
context,
yay me. I
yay,
think
yay
I
me.
think the thing I like is the feeling of we made it. Like one of the things that we're
Yeah.
lucky in our business to do is, thousands of people work on this show, and you come to a day like this where we're sitting around talking about the show, and we're lucky enough to be able to do that and to be able to share it
Mhm.
with millions of
Mm,
people around the world. And I think back to all of the people that worked on the show, and I think it's not possible without one single one of those people. You know,
Mhm.
The We Made It as it's definitely better than I Made It. The We Made It, you and your team have worked really hard to get there, and you have that moment. Have at it, you know.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. Feel
I'm
free to
curious.
do,
What
yeah.
is that? What is that background? Is it like
she's in jail.
okay?
Yep.
Okay.
This is a premium Amazon backdrop, so you can't see my bed.
Oh,
Um, I
wow.
wouldn't recommend it. It comes off on your hands and everything. I'm probably poisoning myself
Okay.
as we speak.
It
But I do my podcast and
optically, it's pretty attractive. It's got some
oh,
lines. It's the black, and it's good. Well done.
It
well,
feels a
Idris,
little bit like you're in an elevator shaft.
The buttons on this lift
Yeah.
don't work.
It's very
I will put that in an Amazon review that Idris Elba approves of my background. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.